So we decided to call our reality show Just Get By. It's the name of one of our songs, and it's actually sort of a way of living that we've tried to live by for the past few years. It's basically all about, not living past your own means. A lot of people out there want to have a lot of things, a lot of possessions, a lot of money, a lot of debt sometimes as well. Whereas us, we really just want to get our music and our message out there and, live simply. And that's what Just Get By means to us. So we decided to strip it right down. We kind of got rid of a lot of our possessions and things, and we're just kind of hitting the road and seeing if we can really focus. Basically just get down to the bare minimum. That's what the show is going to be based around. Just get by. Now in 1994, the dynamic of the band changed greatly. The eldest of all of us, D, lead guitar, was going to Port Moody Senior Secondary School. Now this school was actually a great school for not only academics, but for music as well. It had a recording studio built in the school. And he made a bunch of friends in the stage band. And, they were all very musical, obviously, because they were all in music class together. And so they decided to basically join our band. We couldn't just play rock and roll covers forever. So we decided to actually beef up the band and add some members to the core family group that would actually allow us to play some different styles of music, and ended up changing the band from Rattled into Funk Jazzmagoria. Funk Jazzmagoria.
Here they are, take it away, Funk Jazzmagoria!
So this ended up being about a 12-piece band. For you kids out there, don't think about starting a band that has a name with more than a few syllables. Nobody could get the name of the band right.
Funk Jazzmagoria, ladies and gentlemen. Give them a great hand, aren't they just absolutely fantastic?
That's why we eventually actually ended up changing the name of the band to F-Jam, which is kind of a condensed version. At this time, my involvement in the band kind of started to fade out a bit because, Dee and Dustin and Luke and all of the non-Smalley members of the band were of a certain age group, and, I was still basically in elementary school. So it was kind of hard to keep up with them for me. Since we didn't want to always just be playing covers, we actually started writing our own stuff, and it was good to actually collaborate with some of these other people, some of these other artists and friends. 1994, the very year that we started F-Jam, is the year that I wrote my first rap. It actually ended up in a song, You Can't Stop Me, that was on our first album. In the summer of 1995, we were able to record our first full-length album, which was entitled First Time. October 26th of 1996 is when we officially released our first album, First Time, as F-Jam. We filmed a music video for one of our anthems. It was a song called Please Pass the Funk. Now, I still remember our first club gig. I actually ended up inviting my grade 7 teacher to come in and check us out. Most of us were still too young to actually be on the floor of the club. We'd show up at the club, do our sound check before the club was open, hide in the back with some of the waitresses and some of the bar staff, come out for our performance, head back after the performance. We weren't allowed to mingle or anything with any of the people. Myself, Dee, and Luke ended up all attending what's now Capilano University. They had a pretty renowned jazz program there. Introduced us to a whole new group of musicians. When I went into grade 8, it was my turn to go into a stage band and get into that whole scene. So I started trombone. I started playing trombone. I took some private lessons. Eventually, once I got good enough, I ended up gaining a spot in F-Jam in the horn section playing trombone. We were meeting tons of people. We were doing tons of playing, tons of studying of music. By the time grade 8 rolled around, I started getting really into hip hop. I got a notebook and I started just writing down lyrics. So we put together this album, Check the Hype was what it's called, and there's actually a lot more hip hop influence than albums before. In 1998 is when we actually released it. We obviously recorded Check the Hype at some professional studios. We had a very professional sound. The summer of 1998, HMV Downtown actually had a top 10 of like local independent artists. We actually ended up winning that first place spot for the year for most independent records sold. In conjunction with that, we were actually nominated for a West Coast Music Award. We played at the West Coast Music Awards. The ceremony was at the Commodore. We were getting people like the Jim Burns Show asking us to come and play. We played on the V Show as well.
How many family members do you have?
There is 5 of us that are all from one family here. Actually, everyone who's a Somali, raise your hand or something. There we go. So we're all 4 brothers and 1 sister. Cool.
CBC actually asked us to do a spot. Our parents saw that we had a lot of creative juices flowing and a lot of songs we were writing and a lot of ideas we were trying to get down. So they actually helped us build a studio in our basement. So this actually became Studio D. We kind of named it, after D. We were actually able to, pretty much 24/7, learn how to record ourselves. We even moved away from doing a lot of live music recording and started sort of programming beats, with synthesized sounds. And it really kind of changed the face of our own music and our attitude towards, music from a recorded, production kind of standpoint.
So one big thing we want to accomplish with this show is getting other people involved. Throughout the past we have spent a lot of time among ourselves, creating music and, creating marketing plans.
We mostly want to create, some sort of community based around the show, If anyone watching the show has any suggestions, people they think we should meet, things they think we should maybe try and do or pursue, we want to try to, be able to get feedback from people and sort of be in communication with people as well as we go.
Other artists, other musicians, the audience, people who are watching the show, if they have any ideas or any suggestions about people that we can contact or work with, or even if they want to, try and work with us themselves, it's open to that.
Yeah, we're hoping with this podcast, this reality TV show, to keep ourselves focused by documenting everything we do. If anyone else out there, young bands coming up, actually find any of this information helpful, then that's great along the way.
But we're really just doing it, just to show everyone, that we can take this right from the grassroots, right from the grit to the shine.
Grassroots.
Right from the grassroots. You got it.